All right, man. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. How's everything? Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's at work, chilling, you know, in your cubicle, watching me on a small screen while you typing. This guy's crazy. Hope you doing that. All right, so look, man. Today's episode, Drake got caught streaming faking stream numbers. You know what it is, man. It's over for the dude. So before we get into that, I gotta get on spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content. Absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. I went from 1,300 subscribers to over 16,000. And yes, I am the king of the north. Let me know what kingdom you from. Also, there will be a battle rap event on this page live. So if you into that type of stuff, you'll see the God, Funeral God versus J Dev. You know what it is. So let's get to it, man. Let's do it. All right, so this comes courtesy of Fantastic Hip Hop. You know what it is, man. Let's go.
Now, currently with Drake, when he is not busy embarrassing himself with the ridiculous lawsuit that he keeps escalating, the other major thing him and OVO are trying to do is desperately convince people that his new song Nokia is the hit track that music has needed right now. And while Drake and everyone around him are doing everything they can to try and trick people into believing that this song is the real organic smash record at the moment compared to all of Kendrick Lamar's tracks that are dominating the top charts, which of course with those songs they are trying to claim that they have all been boosted up to only create the mere illusion that they are as big as they are. Well, after all of the confusion that Drake has been trying to spread, all to make his own song look better and of course make Kendrick's look worse. When it comes to both Kendrick Lamar's tracks being more deserving chart toppers than anything else we have seen in so long, and at the same time, even the moderate success we are seeing with Nokia having something very clearly wrong with it going on behind the scenes. Right now, we just got all the confirmation we needed to say with certainty that despite Drake's claims about Kendrick Lamar being put in place by the industry.
All right, he never takes a break, so it's hard for me to cut him off. So I gotta cut him off in mid-sentence, and I think he does that on purpose. But it's actually a pretty effective way to keep people's attention. Is keep talking. But I couldn't do that. That's to me, that's just not organic. Nokia. I think the issue that I come across with Nokia is the same issue I come across with Drake and the fans of Drake. Right. So here's the problem. Nokia is they claim it's a hit song, right? But it's one of those songs that I think people just want it to be a hit so they can just say, well, see, Drake's still dropping hits. Nokia is not a good song. It's not a good song, but it's one of those songs that people always complaining about how hip hop music is too commercialized, it's sold out. Then you listen to Nokia and you see people that saying that hip hop's too commercialized. They're hypocrites because they'll say, well, Nokia is a hit. So I'm looking at it from the point of view is like all y'all care about is hits. Y'all don't care about the content of it. Y'all just want to look at the numbers because y'all want to feel like y'all are part of the winning team. Like, oh, I won. Look, I'm with Drake. We won. And it's like, bro, the song is not good. It's just not a good song. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's catchy. It could be catchy and still not good, bro. That's just what it is. So keep it going.
Stop him, and that the numbers Kendrick Lamar is pulling in are just a lie? In actuality, we now know that Drake has been the one who is faking his influence and lying to everybody at the same time. And now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. And so now with that said, when it comes to Drake, as we now have seen Drake do whatever he can to try and convince his fan base that he is the biggest victim the music industry has ever seen, and really making this entire stunt he is trying to pull off even worse, the only thing he even remotely cares about is trying to defeat Kendrick Lamar and discredit his success however he possibly can. Really, when it comes to Drake being able to use the fans who are just as desperate for a win as he has become, the only thing he has left to do, other than bother everybody with annoying paperwork, is push the one record from SSS for You that has kind of stuck with people in, of course, the song Nokia. And now when it comes to the fact that despite
Again, I personally don't see how and why people think that that song is so great. And again, it's one of those things where people want, and this is why I said before, people want to dethrone people. That's what it is. The fans are fickle, and they will push for you to get thrown. And they see Kendrick at the top, they want Drake to beat him. If Drake was at the top, they want Kendrick to beat him. That's just what it is. It's crazy.
Nokia being the most successful move Drake has made since the entire beef by far, yet the track cannot break past the strongholds of Kendrick Lamar's songs dominating everything, including Not Like Us, Luther, Squabble Up, and a few amount of other tracks depending on which chart we are exactly talking about. While Drake would want you to believe that Kendrick's success is all just another intentional effort to shut him out of the industry. And of course, we keep hearing that same narrative over and over again from his desperate fans, as in order to cope with the fact that a rapper is breaking records like we have never seen, they just keep resorting to the argument that Kendrick is getting all of these new listeners from fake plays and playlists because it's just so hard for them to accept reality. Well, now, despite all of the tedious conversation and coping that we have seen, no longer do all of us just know that Kendrick's success is about as real as it can possibly get. But now for Drake and all of the people who don't want to accept that they have lost in every single sense of the word, and in reality now, Kendrick is the one who numbers-wise Drake will never even creep up to, altogether.
Yeah, run that back. I want to see.
People who don't want to accept that they have lost in every single sense of the word, and in reality now, Kendrick is the one who...
All right, so look. I want y'all to look at this, right? Try to look at this because some people were saying that if you look on Facebook and these fake Drake bot what they call them, groups, they say that Drake is back over Kendrick on Spotify. So let's look at the numbers in real time on right here. So this is Kendrick Lamar, right? So how many followers? Yeah, 100. You know what I'm saying? See that? And let's look at Drake. See what I'm saying? Drake is number 11. Number 11. Kendrick Lamar is number 4 on Spotify. So there you go, right there. Y'all could chill with the what they call it. Y'all could chill with the fake stream outrage streams that y'all be saying. Oh, Drake is much bigger. Look, he's right back to number 1 on Spotify. He was never number 1 on Spotify. He never had the most listeners on Spotify. Let's just be clear here. He never did. So let's keep it going.
Numbers-wise Drake will never even creep up to? Altogether, we now know more than ever that Drake has been lying to every single one of us and making up all of the claims he has about Kendrick Lamar and his fake numbers, all because he is upset that Lamar is just doing more on Rap's throne than he has ever been able to. And this is because after all of the baseless claims about whose numbers are real and whose numbers are not, recently none other than Spotify just checked their entire platform for music that was faking streams and had any sort of manipulation going on behind the scenes, and for anything that they detected was up, those numbers were wiped away from those records entirely. And now with Spotify checking this out, this is where things start to get bad for Drake, because despite people around him like current go-to producers in Gordo believing that Drake could never fail this much and Kendrick couldn't succeed the way he had, and they have tried to spread the word about this to everyone by putting up cryptic messages about how the truth will come to light, well now with Spotify cleaning up their entire streaming records, I guess to Gordo's point, the truth has come to light, but in a way where Drake and everybody around him are not gonna like what they are gonna see, because more than ever, in a music industry that is seemingly trying to get rid of all of the manipulation going on behind the scenes, Spotify adjusted a ton of song streaming numbers, and because of this, a lot of songs lost streams because they were caught having artificially boosted numbers, which is of course what Drake has been trying to prove with Not Like Us. And now while certain artists, and even rappers specifically like Cardi B, lost hundreds of millions of streams, which just shows how fake some things in this industry we see are,
that's crazy. Damn. I didn't even know that. I didn't know Cardi lost streams. And I don't know what to say.
With everything that Drake and his team have been trying to claim about how fake all of the numbers around Kendrick Lamar are, not a single thing about Kendrick Lamar's numbers were altered one bit by any of this, which once and for all is just putting Drake's claims about the entire success of Not Like Us and Kendrick Lamar's ascension in the music industry being faked and this pre-planned effort to end his career in a more ridiculous context than it ever has looked. Because with all of the Kendrick Lamar songs not being altered at all after this entire check that Spotify had, Drake's claims about the industry pushing Not Like Us and GNX and boosting those numbers within the worst ways possible overall have just never sounded more baseless altogether. And with Kendrick's numbers being on—
And this is what I said before. The boy that was on Academic Stream was lying. See what I mean?
Undeniable when Drake fans and OVO have been making plans and efforts to make his music look like it's performing better than it really is. It's really just the funniest thing. And ultimately what this entire moment is going to have to show every single person around Drake is that despite the ridiculous claims they are pushing and trying to build up about this major plot to end Drake's career, which is being pushed more and more each day by having Kendrick Lamar's streaming numbers go up, all of this has been earned and is not faked, and they just can't keep denying this anymore no matter how hard they try. And now, unfortunately for everybody around Drake, Kendrick Lamar's numbers were not just proven to be more than real. But when it comes to the last thing that Drake has had going for with him when it comes to his actual own music, which is the song Nokia, while everyone around Team Drake and OVO has been claiming that this song's success is so organic and that nothing about it is fake, which of course they are trying to position like that as the opposite of what's happening with Kendrick Lamar and records like Not Like Us and Luther, this is just not the case. And now I'm not saying that the entire reason this song is doing anything right now—
Well, I mean, for some people, he definitely did push this song by using someone to promote it, by paying people to react to it on TikTok and stuff like that. I don't understand how that's not paying for views and influence, but some people say it's not. I don't know.
Is completely fake, because we're not going to do what Drake and OVO are constantly doing to Kendrick. But what has become clear is that Drake is not even hiding how he had to put more work and seemingly fake more than he ever has to get this song that's already charting downwards to do this well. As first off, when it comes to the claims about the record being on fake playlists that are boosting streaming numbers, the song is on a good amount of those. And again, as this is something that Drake fans have loved to pull out on Kendrick Lamar and his success, this just shows that Drake is really not that different from the person they think Kendrick is. And now also beyond this, and this is where this situation gets much more complicated, there are also claims that Drake put out an entire campaign where he recruited major influencers and others to make dance trends to this songs all over platforms, and just made people play it in their content to establish this record as a bigger song and moment than anything else Drake has had in quite some time. While some of this seems to be true, I could not find anything directly beyond just users talking about it. But with that said, while there is no direct information about how Nokia has been able to become the first kinda successful thing Drake has done, what is clear is that when you look at specific personalities, from Kai Cenat to the Paul brothers to a lot of other big names within those spaces, there has been a recent sentiment change around Drake and his music, and looking at Kai Cenat specifically because he really reveals the most about what's going on here. I mean, from seeing his reaction when Not Like Us dropped, and even from Drake including him in his suit, to now seeing how much he has been dissing Kendrick Lamar and just overhyping Drake's new album as a whole, and specifically Nokia, overall with Kai, something has clearly changed behind the scenes with him and Drake, and now between—
Well, we know why. Said Kendrick Lamar, Kai Cenat wanted to meet Kendrick, but he couldn't, and he got upset about it. But I don't know if that's actually what it really happened, but that's what people were saying. So I'm just gonna go for that. But I don't know exactly what happened. But allegedly that's what happened. So
this pattern we see right here, and also the fact that we know Drake has a history of doing some things behind the scenes, as we know he was using fake numbers to try and change the narrative during his beef with Kendrick, as beyond Kendrick's own bars telling us this, when the diss tracks were coming out, we saw through polls before actual people had time to voice how they felt about what songs were better, that Drake was able to fake things and make diss tracks that nobody actually thought were better than Kendrick's, seemed to have better reception in an effort to try and change the perception of the beef before it was too late, but of course that didn't work. And I mean, what's clear with all of this is that Drake has definitely played the system within a way like he would never want to admit, and making it even worse for him He's also doing the exact same things that he's claiming that Kendrick is using to get success in the first place. And so overall with this, when we look at this moment on the charts where Kendrick Lamar is just breaking record after record and Drake has one song that, while it is his best in a while in terms of its performance, is doing nothing to rival Kendrick whatsoever, from Kendrick Lamar's numbers clearly being real, which we now can't just tell from how hip-hop and music culture has changed alongside the success of these songs, but now we have an actual way to prove it as these numbers were not changed whatsoever, from Drake clearly doing stuff behind the scenes to push Nokia more than he has ever tried to push a record in his career. Overall, what is clear is that in this rap game where the real music is lasting and the gimmicks are fading away more and more, Drake is the one who is trying to grasp onto his past success with ridiculous methods that are just spelling out that he has never been more desperate and that things behind the scenes are not like we see them. And really with all of this, Drake really just has to admit that he is no longer number one, because he is not just trying to discredit Kendrick Lamar, but he is then using the same methods he is saying are helping Kendrick, but still losing with those. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, and when it comes to the fact...
That's true. He definitely is using the same methods that he said Kendrick used, and it turns out that he's using the same methods. I told y'all, man, this guy's pathetic.
Of why Kendrick Lamar is winning the way he is. Stuff like this is the exact reason why hip-hop has moved on from Drake and why people don't want this anymore, because over everything else, we are now in a time where the record itself and its cultural impact speaks more than anything else can. And again, while Drake is trying to discredit Kendrick and say that everything he is doing is fake, but when you see how Kendrick Lamar this beef and its outcome has become so relevant, that it's been mentioned in places so much further than just hip-hop, as whether that's from Will Ferrell during Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special, or Conan during the Oscars, which of course Drake and his fans were not happy about the joke he made there. Overall, what is clear is that the moment of Not Like Us and Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show has been so successful that it has transcended hip-hop and regular music spaces as a whole. And with all of this real and earned success, while at the same time everything around Drake has not just looked worse, but even his moderate successes are clearly a little faked, Drake really just needs to come up with a better plan, because at this point, there is nobody he is fooling by lying to us like this. And so now with all this said, let me...
Yeah. Sure, y'all go follow Fantastic Hip Hop. You know what it is. Yeah. I mean, what can you really say at this point? There's really nothing you can say. I definitely think that his career is on a downward spiral and can't make this up, man. He been out here playing around for years and years and years, and here we are today. This is where he's at. So, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have yourself a good evening. 12 o'clock show is coming up. See y'all. Peace. Bye.